Constant, steady pressure, religiously applied. It was ingrained in me by in a previous career by a restaurant manager that I worked with. He was old school, and that's what he talked about. He talked about the ability to impact and change things, in your jobs. Me, I was young at the time, and when I first became an executive chef, I remember having the conversation with him that, man, I want to change everything. I know I can do this job better. And he was the one who helped me get promoted, so he obviously believed that I could do the job better. And we sat down and over a cup of coffee and discussed it. And he said, if you want to impact change, you want to get people to work with you and for you. And that's certainly a thing that I believe in, is having people work with me. Even my employees that are full time with me, I never treat them like they're under me. I don't speak to them like they're under me, and I don't ever make them do something that I myself, wouldn't do. I'm not above any kind of work, and that was a principle that was ingrained in me when I was in the restaurant business, because that's what people who work for you want. You want them to be fiercely loyal to you. Well, they want the same from you. They want to feel like you're battling, you're at war with them for the same things, and not just a general barking orders at people. So I was always the first person to jump in and do a job, and whatever it was, and I try to carry that through in my current career as a general manager or general contractor, of our small company. I always let if there's something ugly to be done, or something that's risky, or something that's a little dangerous, or whatever it is, I'll be the first person up the ladder, because I don't want them to think that I don't value their safety, or their time, or whatever it is. And then the other principle that he taught me was that you don't change any one thing 100%. Although that's what human nature is that people want to make drastic changes so they can see their immediate impact. The smarter play is to change 100 things 1%, and eventually those things will mold themselves as you apply that constant, steady pressure, to whatever the goal is. It'll all mold itself and come together the way that you want. And at the same time, you can get the other people involved to buy in and to believe that they're part of the impact that they're witnessing, versus you just came in and made a rule. And I've always kind of governed my careers that way, and I also try to govern my personal life that way at home. I'm not even parenting. I'm not because I said so type of parent. I don't believe that, and I don't treat my kids like, because I'm their father, or I'm the husband to my wife. I don't ever just lay out arbitrary rules based on because I said so. It's always been important to me that the people around me believe in my vision, believe in my goal, and are behind me in whatever we're trying to do, whatever our vision, our goal, or wherever we're trying to go is, or whatever decision that we have to make. I want the people around me to be a part of it and to believe in it, because I know that that's more impactful. And so because of that, you have to constantly stay, pedal on the gas, pushing towards that goal with a constant, steady pressure, and I like the idea of it being religiously applied. That being that, people for millennia have have believed in religion and have faith. That's sort of the guiding point of this. Is like you just have faith that you're going to impact this thing in this manner, and you push forward doing it. With religious, faith-based pressure, and in the end, you can move mountains. And I truly believe that, and I've witnessed it firsthand. And that's what I'm trying to apply in present day to my company. I have to make some changes. I mean, some things have certainly come to light. Some deficiencies that I have that haven't been I've known they were there, but they've never really had a negative impact. Like a week ago, I did a video about the same general manager who told me that I was the best reactor to situations that he'd ever seen, and how I'd be better served taking a proactive approach to stuff. And I just kind of let that go in one ear and out the other, and just took it as a compliment that I was really good at reacting. Well, that's come to bite me in the ass a little bit, and some things I'm going to have to deal with. And I'm going to have to change my course, at least change my course that 1%, and start heading, just turn the boat a little bit, and start heading a little bit in a different direction, and just be a little more thorough with my contracts and my conversations with people, and my change orders, and the things that people ask me to do that I'm agreeable to, and I don't ever document, because it turned around and it's going to bite me in the ass right now, and my paper trail sucks. I don't I never wanted to be a big company or a large enough company that I felt like I needed to have a lawyer on retainer, and I needed these elaborate contracts, that you sign in blood, blah blah blah. I thought it could be simple, and I could gain success through simplicity and word of mouth and doing a good job. And for all intents and purposes, I have. I mean, we're running a decent company, my son and I, and we work every day, and we keep a few guys employed, and we do vastly more work than we should for the size of our company. And of course, I subcontract out a lot. So with that said, I just know that the time has come, and ugliness has presented itself, and a deficiency in my in the way that I manage my own company, and now something has to change. And I mean, I feel blessed in the idea that I can recognize it, and I can see a path forward from it. Although this is going to sting, for sure, I feel blessed in the idea that I am an entrepreneur, and I can just take on more work, and I'll be able to solve this. I mean, it's going to take some finances to solve it. You know what I mean? And I thought about it too, because I had a bit of a doom spiral happening to me yesterday, based on this gut punch that I took, if you will, and kind of had my head messed up, and yeah, I thought that I don't know, I spent way too much time in my head, like I felt like my insides were squirming around, you know what I mean? Like I was trying to escape my own thought process and escape my own body, if you will. My mind felt restless. And it still does to some degree, and I still feel like a squirming inside of me, like I feel like I need an escape route or something. But I know that that's not the answer. I know that, like I do with most things, and it just takes me a minute to get there. I've got to, as I always say, stick my head into the mouth of the lion. You know what I mean? Can't be afraid. Got to face this thing head on, and yeah, well, I mean, I'll fix it and I'll work it out. But in the meantime, I need to come up with a different plan of action, and take action as to what I'm going to do to improve improve the way that I run the company, and I handle my documentation, and and run the business on the business side. That's the tough part about being a small company is, I solely am responsible for the estimates, the change orders, the billing, the planning, the ordering. My son helps me and manages the sites, all around what we're doing, and meets the subcontractors and sets them up, and as I do the same thing. But and he does grab a lot of material for me, and and definitely plays a major role in what we do. But I've got to buckle down and maybe fall back a little bit from the physical stuff that I have been doing, and trying to, again, show my employees that I'm a part of the process. But maybe being a part of the process right now needs to change a little bit. And I've got to do a better job of the administrative part. I had a rough year. Like the last 6 months, I spent some time cleaning up jobs, things that drug out for too long, and of course, some of that is me. Some of that was the clients. Some of it was me. Clients, because I'm agreeable, and clients ask me to do stuff, and I don't document it. Sometimes I get caught up in the fact that I did this thing, and now I've got to answer for it, or I've got to call an inspection, and it wasn't part of the plan, and whether or not I should have done it or not, now it's something that I got to deal with. And I had a few of them come back to roost this year, and and for the most part, I've kind of tackled them head on and just went forward. And as they say, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. Maybe that's not a great principle for running a business, though. But as I thought about it today, I'm trying to put a positive spin on this. The way I see it is, I looked at how many since I've been in business and started using this this software 4+ years ago. I've done 545 estimates or proposals. I probably got about 75% of that work. It's very few people that don't choose us. People like us. We've done a lot of work all across the board, from building houses and kitchens and bathrooms and decks and water heaters and rooftop decks and enclosures, and lots of bathrooms on people's ground levels, because it's all entertainment space when you have a waterfront home on the ground level. Tons and tons of stuff that we've done, and for the most part, everybody's very pleased and everybody's very happy. And so I jokingly said in a shorter video this morning that I was 545 and 1, which means I have 545 wins to 1 loss. And that's probably not completely accurate. I would say I'm probably more like 540 and 2 and 3 draws, right? Because I'm not perfect, and of course not everybody's always 100% happy, and we do what we can and usually try to go above and beyond. I have 100 people that would attest to the great job that I've done for them, and gone above and beyond what they would have expected. But there are a few people out there who felt like I let them down for one reason or another. Some jobs go really well and some jobs don't go well, and I'm not really sure always how to figure out who's to blame or how that goes. Some of it, of course, could have been me. Some of it also could have been them, so on and so forth. That's it. I'm just trying to talk myself. Part of this is me talking myself through the process of dealing with this potential hardship that I'm going to have to face. It's literally going to take food out of my granddaughter's mouth, and can hurt our family. It certainly could hurt my family financially, And I'm not going to let that happen. Although I may need to buckle down and settle this in some way, shape, or form. That impact, that ripple in the water will stop at me, and it's not going to spread out and impact my immediate family, in our living situation and whatnot. So, long story short, man, constant, steady pressure, religiously applied, you can change your world, and then hopefully, you can change your world for the better, which will hopefully change the world for a better. And that's it. Thanks for your time. Like and subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are. Talk to you soon.